You ever look in the mirror and think, why does my hair seem thinner every year? See, most women I talk to chalk it up to age or hormones, and that's part of it. But what if that's actually not the full problem? What if it's something that you're doing every single day without even realizing that it's quietly making things look or actually be much worse? So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through habits that I have learned in my 30-year career as a hairstylist that are very common and are behind the scenes destroying your hair, especially if you have fine or thinning hair. More importantly, I'm gonna reveal exactly what you should be doing instead. And I wanna say a huge thank you to Lifen for sponsoring this video. Okay, I'm gonna start out strong. Let's do it. Habit number one, the one length haircut. That's basically flattening everything. Okay, before you freak out, just let me finish. Hear me out here. It's a one length haircut, right? Sounds safe, makes sense. And see, most women definitely tell me that, hey, I'm keeping it long so it looks thicker, and if I layer it, it's just gonna look thinner, which absolutely makes sense to me. But here's the truth. That weight of that one length, it's killing your volume, and it's making your hair actually look thinner in the process. See, when you've got fine hair and it's all one length, it simply collapses at the root, right? There's little to no lift, and it ends up making your hair look flatter and actually thinner than it really is. So instead, just consider trying this. Ask your stylist for internal layering. Now, I'm not talking about choppy layers. I'm just talking about kind of smart weight removal strategies that give your hair natural movement and shape without sacrificing length or feeling overly layered. I actually did an entire video about this that I'll link in the description if you want to check it out after this. And I actually made it so that you can share it with your stylist to walk them through the exact process that I use to do this type of layering. So if you want to see it, it's in the description. Habit number two, blow drying incorrectly. This is huge. See, here's something that nobody tells you. And if you skip this, even the best shampoos and conditioners are not going to save you. It's not just the heat that damages your hair, it's how you deliver that heat. See, when you incorrectly apply heat to hair, that heat can get concentrated in one area and be far more aggressive and damaging. On top of that, when you're using a blow dryer and you apply the hot air in the wrong way, it can actually make your hair look more frizzy and like it's even more damaged than it might be. So how do you fix it? Well, it's actually pretty easy. I've got 4 simple steps that you can use. Step number 1 is that when you're using irons, be sure to stay below 100 degrees and then make sure that you move them at a consistent pace through the hair, being sure that you don't hold them in one area longer than another area. Now, this is obviously more specific to flat irons over curling irons, but that's also one of the reasons that I prefer flat irons, even if you're adding wave, since you actually have more control over the heat distribution, or in other words, over the damage. Step number 2, when you're using a blow dryer, also ensure you consistently move it so that the dryer doesn't stay in one place for too long, just like the flat iron. Number 3, also when you're using a blow dryer, make sure that you point that airflow down the hair shaft. I've said this a million times. Make sure you're pointing it from the roots to the ends. If you point it up the hair shaft or at the hair shaft, you're gonna dramatically increase both the amount of frizz that you add as well as the damage that you do. Whereas if you point it down the hair shaft, you're gonna actually decrease the look of frizz as well as the potential damage. And number 4, and this is probably what I believe to be the most important, please hear me when I say this, use the right dryer. If your hair is thin and fine, like mine literally is, we just don't get the luxury of using whatever tools that we want if we wanna minimize damage and breakage in our hair. Now, I've been using the Lifen Swift blow dryers for years now, and I legitimately choose them on purpose. They use less heat and still dry hair faster than other dryers that I've used and tested. They're quiet, they have high-end features like magnetic attachments and easy to clean filters, which I actually appreciate. And I cannot tell you how many messages and comments I've gotten from people thanking me for sharing about them and telling me how much they love them. With that said, there are definitely like a couple things that I think you should be aware of before you buy one. First one, they have a lot of air pressure. And this is on purpose because this is how they use less heat, which means less damage, but still are very efficient and in some cases more efficient, drying your hair faster. However, if you've got very thin hair, you're probably gonna wanna use the lower air pressure setting because the higher setting may be a little bit too much for you. I've had people say that it blow my hair everywhere. Hold the hairdryer back a little bit, turn the setting down, you're gonna be fine, and it's gonna be way more efficient. Trust me, you'll love it. The number 2 thing that you need to know is something I get asked constantly, and that is there's a lot of blow dryers on their website. Which one should you get? This is a totally fair question. So let me just really quick, simply break it down for you, the differences, so that you know which one you should get. Okay, so first up is the SE Lite. Now this is the most affordable dryer in the lineup. It's got the lowest overall air speed, but still fast at 100,000 rounds per minute. At the end of the day, it dries hair fast. It's built from a blend of ABS and polycarbonate. And all that means is that it makes it light, sturdy, and still solid for travel or daily use. Literally, Dion and I have one of these that we take everywhere we go when we travel, because there's nothing worse than showing up at a hotel and having a blow dryer that feels a little bit like it's a squirrel blowing through a straw in your hair. For retail in the US, these sell for $99.99. However, in just a second, I'm gonna tell you a way that you can actually get it for much, much cheaper. So hold on for 1 second. Next, we have the SE. It actually retails for $139.99 in the US. Now, it's the same body material, but the motor spins a little faster at 105,000 rounds per minute. This means you're gonna get a little quicker drying time. So it's kind of a nice little step up in performance for just a little bit more money. Then we have the brand new SE2. Now, this one's built with upgraded materials. So it's a high grade nylon and a fiberglass, which all that means is it feels a little bit more premium, it's a little tougher, and it's a little quieter, which is great because they also bumped the motor up a bit to hit 108,000 rounds per minute, again, so that you could potentially even get faster dry time with it. But it adds a new child mode. I honestly have not even had a chance to try this yet. So it's a cooler, quieter setting for sensitive scalps or pets. So it drops the temperature below 60 degrees Celsius and the noise below 59 decibels. So it's a little softer, a little safer, and potentially even a little less damaging. Its retail price in the US is $149.99. Finally, we have the Swift. Now, this is the flagship. It's kind of the top tier motor with the fastest drying time at 110,000 rounds per minute. And this thing is built for it. So they used fiberglass, so it's built like a performance tool. It's durable, it's sleek, and it's definitely engineered for longevity. This thing is really all about speed, protection, and power. And it retails in the US for $139.99. I wanna tell you how you can actually get a much better deal on a couple of these dryers. So Lyfen is actually having a Black Friday sale, which is gonna be going on from November 19th through December 1st. This is ridiculous. They're offering up to 40% off. So the SE Lite, which takes it from $99.99 to $59.99. There's no such thing as a dryer that's this good, that's sub $60. I've been working with them, I think, for 3 years now or so. I can promise I've never seen a discount this steep on these dryers. I think it actually might be the lowest they've ever offered. They're also offering 35% off of the SE and the Swift Special. So both of those are amazing options as well. This is definitely the time, like, it blows me away. You can get your first Lyfen dryer for under $60. That's honestly nuts. So I know that was a lot of information. Quick, simple recap. SE Lite. Best if you want a top tier dryer, but you're on a little bit more of a budget. The SE, a little more power and comes with the concentrator as well as the diffuser attachment. So it's great if you've got curly hair and you still want a good price on an amazing dryer. The SE2, upgraded build, child mode, quieter, perfect if you've got pets that you wash actually at home, or if you have children and they or yourself have a sensitive scalp, this is definitely a solid option. Then you have the Swift, and that's just the flagship, right? It's the fastest, smartest, top performance. Personally, my favorite because I love the black colorway. Call me crazy. And I personally actually like the little attention to detail, right? Like the little silver buttons, the little silver switches, and the kind of premium build. So if you're the person that loves luxury and all the bells and whistles, the Swift is your jam. Okay, moving on. Habit number 3, silicone overload that smothers your hair in the process of trying to smooth your hair. Okay, let's talk about serums and smoothing products for just 1 second. You know the ones that like promise all of the shine and all of that ridiculous heat protection? Some of them are actually doing the exact opposite of what you think. Studies literally show that many of these products use heavy silicones that flat out don't wash out easily. They coat your hair. Yeah, it's almost kind of like a plastic wrap, which sounds kind of like on one way protective, but it's not. And over time, that coating, not only does it trap oil, it suffocates your scalp, but it actually destroys any ability you might have to try and get volume. Like if I can share a little story with you, when I created a product a while back with another company as a co-branded product, we were creating a heat protector. And many of you, thank you so much for the support. Many of you purchased it. You absolutely loved it. I thought it was a great product too. But in the process of building that product, I spoke with the chemists because I was very specific about silicones. And my concern is that in the salon, I have learned that silicones oftentimes will build up on your hair. And then when it comes to that, I can feel it in the hair. It weighs the hair down. It feels kind of greasy. People feel like their scalp is oily or their hair is oily when it's actually just a buildup. So now, not only were you left with hair that was heavier than it even should have been when you're trying to create volume, and then when you try to use the products that you need to get a foundation for volume, you end up with hair that is still laying flat and feels gross. So you couldn't even use it. You're really hosing yourself in the effort of trying to protect your hair and get some extra shine. Now, when I spoke to the chemist, I learned that that wasn't silicones. That was specific kinds of silicones. And I actually ended up using 3 separate kinds of silicones in my product. But the difference were these particular silicones actually flashed off, they call it, which basically means that they did their job and were gone through either the drying process or after 1 shampoo. However, some will actually take maybe 3 shampoos to get out. It can over time start to build up slowly on your hair. So you don't notice it immediately, you notice it over time. So now, it is not to say that silicones are bad because they actually can be efficient and helpful. However, we wanna make sure that the ones that we see or that we use in our products are water soluble and rinse out after 1 shampoo. So the next time that you're looking for a heat protector or you're looking for a shine agent and it is using silicone, don't put it away simply because it's using silicone. Just do a little research and look and make sure that the silicone it's using is either water soluble or rinsed out in 1 day or after 1 shampoo. Yes, that's what I mean. You know what I'm saying, right? I hope that made sense. Oh my gosh. Okay, now habit number 4 is treating your hair like it's dirty instead of delicate. It sounds so ridiculous even when I say it. Basically overwashing. I know that oftentimes fine hair gets oily. Totally get it. But trying to scrub your scalp into submission is not helping. It's only hurting it. See, what happens is harsh shampoos or stripping shampoos, oftentimes called clarifying shampoos, super hot water and scrubbing, especially using your nails like you're sanding a floor, all weaken the hair shaft over time. So you end up losing proteins, you rough up the cuticle, and suddenly your hair doesn't just feel thin, it is also damaged. So instead, just try this. Use a gentle shampoo 2 or 3 times a week. Use the pads of your fingers, not your nails, and then rinse with lukewarm, not hot water, which does not sound fun. I get it, guys. I love hot showers. Now also, once in a while, add a little bit of a scalp exfoliator. This is gonna help remove dead skin and sebum without wrecking the cuticle. Bottom line is, treat your hair like it's a silk blouse, not a dirty dish. I said the word blouse. I know what it is, but I feel like I just aged myself the minute I said blouse. That's something that like my grandma used to say, right? Well, put on your blouse. So here's my kind of ridiculous, but it works way of determining if your shampoo is too strong. If you shampoo your scalp once, your hair once, and your hair feels squeaky clean, like noise, that's typically a little too clean. And if your shampoo is a strong shampoo and it does that every day, I would go to a lighter shampoo so that your hair feels clean, but not squeaky clean. And then once every 4 or 5 times you shampoo, that's when you would want to use that clarifying shampoo. You do want to strip any of that excess buildup in your hair or on your scalp, and we do need a little bit more to do that. Just make sure you're not using that every day. Okay, habit number 5. This is the one that makes me cringe every time, and that is tight ponytails, ridiculous claw clips, or using a round brush that's actually got too much tension on a day-to-day basis. Over time, that tension doesn't always, but can even cause traction alopecia. This is a real thing, right? The follicle starts to miniaturize and eventually it's kind of scars over. And once that happens, the hair just flat out doesn't grow back. Instead, give your hair a break. Don't pull it back every single day, right? Give it a little rest time. And if you are gonna pull it back every day, try to pull it back into even slightly different locations. A little bit higher some days, a little bit to the side one day, maybe into 2. You got pigtails. We're going pigtails. We're bringing pigtails back, folks. They're coming back just for this. And in fact, even use larger rubber bands versus smaller rubber bands. Think of it this way, the larger the surface area that is wrapping around your hair, the more surface area there is to deliver that pressure. And so the smaller area, that's more pressure condensed into one specific area. So if we can take that pressure and bring that over to a larger surface area, we're gonna do less damage in that one area. That actually makes a difference over time. Think of it like walking on the same patch of grass every single day, right? You're not gonna notice one day to the next that all of a sudden you're kind of wearing a path in that grass. But eventually, nothing's gonna grow there. It's just gonna be a dirt path through this same little line of grass. That's what's going on with the hair. Pulling it back, same thing over and over and over. It didn't happen overnight, but eventually you're gonna notice, wait a minute, my hair feels thin at the ends. What's going on? That makes sense? Analogy man, I'm back. Da-da-da. Also, give your head a little massage. Stimulates blood circulation, stimulates sebaceous glands, stimulates hair growth. All of those things will help, and they can actually strengthen the hair a little bit. So that's not a bad little addition to it. So do that too. But the good news is this. If you catch it early, you start paying attention to all of this stuff now, a lot of it is reversible. It's not a big deal, right? Small changes done consistently can completely change how your hair reacts. Now, also, again, I want to say a big thank you to Lifen. We've been working together for a long time. And again, it is because I stand behind that product. I love their blow dryers and I sincerely choose them on purpose. Can we do a side note on this real quick? You guys, do you have any idea how many brands reach out to me with blow dryers, wanting me to talk about their blow dryers? Like, I can use any blow dryer. That sounded arrogant, but it wasn't meant to be. It's to get the point across that I have my choice and have chosen Lifen on purpose. And it's not just for me, it's because I want to tell you about dryers that function well, that are not damaging, that are at a good price point, and good solid products, period. Now, if you want to try it, there is, again, I said a link in the description. I'm telling you right now, you're not going to find a better price than you're going to find during this Black Friday sale. So head down there, get your dryer for $60. That's such a ridiculous price. I appreciate you for hanging out. If you liked this video, you're gonna love this video. So head over there and then I'll see you over there. Thank you. We'll see you then. And I'm hot again. Why do I choose to wear a sweater when it's like 90 degrees in my little office studio? What the heck? It usually just slides right open. Shut up.